webinar of the financial planners and the business opportunity for financial advisors. My name is Naveen Patrinarayan and I'm joined Anand Desai. We are directors in the company Dheya Career Mentors. And today we'll be talking about a very unique model of business, which would be, in our opinion, which would be very, very suitable for the financial advisor community that we are today talking to. So today we are addressing the entire community of financial advisors. And now, what's the connection between career planning and financial advisor? I'm sure that's the question that's hitting most of your mind. Let me tell you, there's a very, very strong and deep connection between the two. Today we are living in a world. If you look at us, we are living in a world of where there is a, if you look at the entire spectrum, if you look at the entire community of Indians in India today, I think if you just walk around in a community and listen to people talking, you will hear most of the times people talking about their children's education, talking about careers of their children. Now, when a financial advisor or a financial planning happens at an age of 40 plus, 45, 50, people are, when you look at any financial plan, first thing is a retirement plan, right? And the second thing will be the child's education and career plan. That's something that's very natural. I also did my financial planning recently with a financial advisor. And for me, my priority number one, when we prioritize our life goals, the priority number one was my children's education and the investment that is needed for that. So I think it's very important for us to address, because it's not only education, because education now is of course a huge investment, but we are looking beyond education. Career is something that's very, very important to look at, because with the kind of unemployment that's happening in our country, it's very important for we to look at a holistic view of career planning, and that's what we are talking about. What is this career planning and how is it different from education? In a little while from now, you're going to see what's happening in our country and why is it so important today to do what we are doing, what we have stepped out to doing. So let's just jump into this. I will take a few minutes to explain to you what's happening in our country and what is it that we are talking about. Then we'll move on to talking about the business opportunity that is waiting for you to open out, and it's a huge opportunity, I must say, that we all need to tap into and see how best we can leverage on it. So what does career word mean? What is the meaning of this word career? Let's understand this. It's not, does it mean education? Does it mean telling a child to go and study something, or does it mean something else? What does it mean in today's world? If you type on Wikipedia or you type on Google today and look for this word career, everywhere the career word seems to be kind of connected to an entrance exam, to a competition, something like that. But I think it's very different. It's extremely different from that. I think it means what you want to be in life. Now, many times when I plan a journey to a holiday, what is the first thing that anybody looks for? It's a destination, right? We don't start packing up our bags without knowing where we want to go to. Just imagine packing up your bags, with Bermudas and with, summer wear, and then boarding a bus to go to Kashmir. How would that be? That's exactly what's happening in our education system. People are just doing education. They have no clue what's the destination going to be. Whereas a career means a journey to a destination in the world of work. The journey which gives us an identity of being someone in this world of work. When we are talking about career, we are talking about building an identity. And that's the only way we can make India a very powerful and a strong country, when people start talking big about creating, great identities of themselves in this world. Now, when we start building these aspirations and talk about identities, is when the youngsters and the professionals in our country will start looking at career from a very different perspective. Why is it necessary to plan a career? What is the necessity to do it? Today, there's a huge investment in education, and we all know it. And as financial planners and advisors, I think you're well aware that every parent, every person, every family that you plan a career, plan a finance for, is looking at life goals. And in life goals, the priority one, or at least the priority two, has to be education and career for their children. They want the children to be happy in life. They want to keep money aside plan their finances to ensure that the children are happy in life in the future. That's a very major concern for most of the parents today. But there is a problem in our country. There's a dilemma. Investment is happening in education. The child spends 18 years in educating himself or herself. 5 years to 23 years they do, the entire schooling, followed by the college, followed by post graduation. At the age of 23 onwards, they're going to be working for 40 plus years. So should the parents focus only on the education part of life, or should they first focus on the destination, that is the 40 plus years, and then move on to education and ensure that the education that they are giving the child is actually fruitful, because that's where the return on investment is going to be there. Isn't the return on investment important when somebody is investing lakhs and lakhs and maybe crores into education of the children? And that's what we are talking about. We're talking about getting them a guarantee, talking about giving them a guarantee of returns on investment. Now, what are the career choices today where children are making? Today what's happening is, the career choices are made on based on parental pressure. So parents expect a lot of things from their children, and there's a lot of pressure on the parents. Second, a lot of television advertisements are being seen, media is being seen, information technology is giving them a lot of information. They're being overloaded with information, and based on that, they are taking decisions in careers which is going to be a 40 plus years of investment of their life. And of course, they talk to each other, and a lot of peer influence happens based on all these three things. And then there are mass lectures, you know how IIT is great, how others are completely based, how, I mean, IIT, IIMs, NEET, entrance exams, competition. Why? Because it's a marketing world. People are marketing education, and children and parents are jumping into it without knowing what's going to happen in the future. Okay, admission counseling is happening. Crowd and peer group pressure is kind of doing this. Now, what's happening is career choices today are based on influence from the society, and especially in an age of 14 to 18, where influence is something that naturally comes to students at that age, and parents are just not concerned, that they're so concerned about what's going to happen in the future. With all this happening, the choices of career today are completely confused. Students are confused, parents are worried, parents are concerned, and with this kind of a thing, we also did a research. We went and did a research in about 100 schools, and we forwarded a research form to a lot of students and asked them, what do they want to do in life? What do they want to become in life? And it was shocking to find that out of 33,000 students, 78% found out that they were not knowing what they want to do in life. They had ticked a box called I'm undecided. There is a serious lack of concerted career guidance opportunity. Parents don't know whom to go to. There is a kind of a despair in the society today. The parents are concerned, students are confused, and subjects, marks, and degrees are only being focused upon. Of course, they will get a degree, of course, they will get a qualification, but the students don't know what it is all about. Just because you join in engineering, you do not know what this engineering life is all about. But then people are jumping into engineering education, jumping into medical education, crores and crores of money is being invested into it. Today there's a problem. After getting education, what? Today engineers are available dime a dozen. Who's hiring them? Unemployability is something which is a very big word today in India. 65% of our population is youthful, and most of them are unemployed today. But they are qualified. So qualified and unemployed is what we are talking about. Unfortunately, in today's world, career means education for many, and that's a big concern for most of us. Is career equal to education? What is the effect of this? The effect of this is we have qualified people, yet they are unemployed, yet they are confused, and the youth is completely underprepared to get into education. Just look at the condition. We had just gone to Delhi the other day when we had a seminar organized by All India Management Association, where the honorable ministers were there to give a lecture. The railway minister was there, and he happened to say that for 75,000 jobs in the railways, we had 2 crore applications. That's the present situation. So can you imagine what's happening in the country today? So we are looking at a very big time bomb waiting to explode in our face, looking at so many unemployed youth, sitting at homes doing nothing and full of energy because they are young, They're ready to go and work, but there's no work for them because they're not capable to work. It's not that work is not available. Jobs are available, work is available, but the people are not capable of doing that work, though they are qualified. Do you know that the world of work is changing very fast? That's another point. With this, what's happening is the education system is still age old, is still preparing them for careers which were of past, but the world of work is changing so fast. We have a huge amount of automation coming in. Personalization has taken over most of the jobs. Time compression is driving work. Ruralization is going to be the future. Miniaturization is along with nanotechnology is coming in. Greening of the world, corporate social responsibility, renewable energy, conservation of forests. These are the trends of the future. Are we actually prepared for this kind of fast changes that are happening in our world of work? And are our youngsters and our parents actually thinking about preparing the children for it? Now there's not going to be jobs anymore, but there's going to be more work. That's the future. The future is about independent workers. It's about on-demand workers. It's about skill. It's about only the capable, skilled, and reputed will be hired. You're not going to be getting what I call it degree-based jobs. Already you see it in our market. Degree and qualifications don't have that much of weightage as it is to people who have skill and reputation. It's a reputation-based market, and that's going to be the future of work. Are we getting prepared? Are we ready for the future? Is a big question that hits most of the parents today. And this is something that we need to understand as financial advisors, because when parents come to you for advice, you need to show them the mirror. You need to show them what's going to happen in the future and how prepared they are going to be. And this is something that's so important because the first priority for any parent today is their children's future. Abraham Maslow said, a musician must make music, a painter must paint, a poet must write poetry, a man must be what he can be if he wants to be at peace with himself. The same thing is given in our Bhagavad Gita. Swe swe karmanya bharata samsiddhan labate naraha. What it means is every man is unique, every person is unique. They need to work as per their own nature. What's happening in our world today is the opposite. Everybody is following the herd. Everybody is being told that he's not good at something, he needs to be improving in something. So what's happening is we have underconfident youngsters, underconfident professionals. Nobody is thinking big, and the whole system is moving to become a very weak system if we do not intervene. We do not show them that there's something strong in every person. Every person has got huge amount of strengths. This is what we are talking about. This is a very important point, because when we talk about strengths, we are not talking about areas of improvement. We are talking about areas which they are good at, and we use a system where, as an organization, we have tools, we have processes which we can use and showcase the strengths of each and every person and allow that person to think big. And that's when the career planning will get into a shape where it's more aspirational, where the aspiration comes from within and is not driven from outside forces. So it's time to plan a very great future for our country. With this, I will hand over the presentation to Mr. Anand Desai, who will take you further into this journey and explain to you, what this whole process is all about. Over to you, Anand.
I hope you can see me and you can hear me also. Uh, the first thing I would like to share in this entire presentation is you are a group of people who are very wonderful people who actually are working for the future of the world. You're actually, people come to you with a kind of a plan that's going to be great and you're going to make them happy in future. Similarly, we are also in the same bracket where we are talking about future of careers, future of life, have a plan to build a great life, all that stuff. Now, here we integrate. How we integrate? The first thing what we, when you have been to various financial advisors, and I'm also a client of you. Now, when I start talking to them, they say, okay, listen, these are three priorities in life. Okay, they help me set a goal, set a destination, and say, okay, this is how you need to plan for the next 10 years, 15 years. Now, here's where you are think also, we also can think. We first, what we do is, we help the person to actually set a destination of what he or she wants to be in life. Accordingly, we work backwards. Okay, now to do that, let's plan your education, let's plan your development, let's plan what you need to do to get there. Okay, also there's a big part. We ask them to actually plan their finances. Now here's where this thing is. You ask them to plan their careers, we ask them to plan their finances. So together, it's this is careers without finances are always in a mess. Whereas uh, just a plan, where, plan without finances, it's going to be landing into a deep trouble for a particular parent. Now, when we are actually talking about all these things, okay, we do a lot of work with them. We first ask them, why do you want to plan anyway? Now, the basic thing is, like what you say, you talk about a destination. Say that what's your goal? What is your financial priority? We also do the same thing in terms of, uh, we also do the same thing where it comes to, deciding where you want to go and creating a path for it. Everybody needs a purpose before they or he or she wants to do something. Now, when we're talking about giving a purpose, we give a purpose to why should you educate, where to educate is little later. Now, if you, this is the third biggest point when I'm going to actually point it out over here. Investment is a very heavy thing when it comes to education. A normal parent spends around 18 years of life educating their kids in a urban middle class household. 10 years of school, 2 years of junior college, 4 years of graduation, and 2 years of post graduation. It's all 18 years is spent in education, and then if the child doesn't do anything, they are pretty confused. They don't know what to do. We have parents who are willing to send their kids abroad. We have parents who come from elite families and they're willing to do it. But at the end of the time, are they getting the return on investment? If you plan your career, you get a better return on investment. Similarly, like if you plan your finances, you also get a better return on investment. And here we combine it together. Okay, where we say, okay, like your finances, when you're investing something, look at what you're going to get out of it. And this is a very important thing. Ultimately, we talk about what your child deserves. Your child deserves a happy career. It's as simple as that. It also requires saying that, okay, don't struggle in the future. Okay, let's plan. And if you need any growth, you need to have a plan behind it. Okay, if you cannot just have a plan by saying that, okay, let me have a plan to grow, but I don't have a plan behind it. Now, these are three important factors. Number one, our future of India deserves a great career, happy careers. They need to understand the purpose behind what they're educating for, and lastly, they need a lot of investment which they're going to put in. They need returns from it. Now, here where the two entities, the career planning entity and the financial planning entity, come together. Now, the proposal we are trying to make over here is we are trying to create a situation where, as financial planners, you have your clientele and we have the same clientele. If you become our referrers, or you become people who are actually going to refer to us, okay, now you are the person who say, okay, first get your career planned, and I'll also plan your finances also. This works very well. Now, how does this idea came up to us? We have few of our people, okay, we have few of our people who came to us, and these people who were financial advisors who came to us and told us, listen, I want to share with you something. I want to have some parents who are pretty concerned about their kid. I said, what happened? They are planning their investments. They're planning their investment in a very heavy way, but unfortunately, they don't know what to do with their future of their children. They are completely unaware. I said, we are experts in planning careers. Why don't you send them to us? So what we have done today is we have built a community of around 1,500 have been trained for 65 hours, and they're excellent people. They are really very good. If I connect a development facility to each of you, the synergy works very well. More importantly, the trust factor of our clients will go up. Okay, and that's the proposal we are trying to make. In this proposal, of course, we don't want if nobody wants people, to be a part of the crowd. They want to create their own path, and they also want to be ready for their future and be more prepared. So when we are talking about all these things, we always say that, okay, if you have dreams, you have to work for it. So this is all we're talking about. And when we're talking about dreams, many people we have seen that many people we say that if you have a dream, let's create something very wonderful. Okay, dreams. If you have dreams, you need to work for it. Why not? So we said, let's build a plan on your child's strengths. Let's build a plan that focuses on excellence. Every parent wants their children to grow and do wonders in this world. Let's help them finalize a destination, and then let's build a path which will make it easy together. When I say together, there's a career planner and there's a financial planner. Together, we could create something great. And that's the proposal we want to make. We are actually looking for people who can become our business partners or business associates who will work with us together to create something out of it. Now, this creation of something together is very important. Okay, this will give three, four advantages. Number one, this will give every financial planner an opportunity to work with the family more closely. Okay, and when you're talking about family, it's not just the you know when it's a family, it's not just about doing finances and keeping those finances. It's ultimately utilizing those finances and enjoying the fruits of those finances. This is what we're talking about. Now, when you're talking about enjoying the fruits of finances, same is goes with the career also. So you can help these parents saying that plan your career, work with us. Plan your career, work with us. Plan your career, work with us. That's how it is. Second thing, we are also talking about helping the parents decide in advance how they can help their child realize their potential. Now, like you are doing in your finances, in whatever income they hold, you're actually making them a set a plan and say, okay, this is what is will be happening, and this is what will be your expected, uh, you know, scores in this. Okay, now this is what your expected expenses are going to be. This is where your expected liabilities are going to be. So let's watch for in advance. Similarly, when it comes to doing this particular kind of work, okay, we are talking about integrating these two things together. The third advantage of this entire thing, it's not a short term kind of a work. We don't believe in building careers like a career aptitude test thing. It's not built in a day. We work with those kids on a long term basis, like you also work on a long term basis. See, when it comes to connectedness of a of a family, you're talking about careers, you're talking about life, you're talking about lifelong relationships. We are talking the same. When we are talking the same thing, say, okay, come, decide a destination, let's carve out a path, and together we'll walk that path. Now, this is a unique thing in the entire country. There's nobody in the country who's actually doing this kind of a work, what we are doing currently. Coming back to the fourth advantage of working with financial advisories and career planning together, here we are talking about ultimate happiness. So we are given the four advantages. One is the short-term advantage, one is the planning advantage, one is the lifelong hand-holding advantage, and one is getting integrated with a big thing. Okay, so that's what this whole thing is. Now we are making a proposal to our uh, this thing to our this community of financial planners. Okay, where we want to say that let's do things like this. I have two scenarios which I have actually mentioned in this entire thing. What happens, and which is I think you will relate it very well. What happens when an unplanned career is there? Now, just you can always relate with the finance. Okay, in our parlance, when we talk about careers, we say when you don't plan your career, life becomes a complete trial and error life. You try this, you don't try, you're always unstable. Whatever investment that is there in your entire education is maybe a stage. I'll tell you, most of the time we tell these parents that if you don't know where you're getting your child educated and why are you getting your child educated, what is he ultimately going to work in, where is he going to land into, it's completely waste of time. Just giving a degree, today we have seen this huge number of population, around 1.5 crore of population of engineers who have nothing. They have nothing because they have done investment, they have got degrees, but they are not employable. If they would have prepared it much more in advance, they could have been life would have been much different. Somebody would have told them that listen, take this path, become somebody, start working for somebody. Okay. Now, similarly, it's actually underutilization of personal potential. So that's what happens when if you don't plan a career, underutilization. Like confused, disoriented, and defocused kids. Today, we actually have seen that anybody can sway them. Okay, these people are don't know what they really want in life, so begin for moving here and there. There is a frustrated and unhappy child. Now, when successes don't come, when you don't plan successes, successes don't come. Ultimately, underprepared, unemployed people, and whatever the skills they are taking. For example, I'll tell you just recently, we've been seeing a very beautiful thing which is happening. Okay, now you may relate this to this thing. Suddenly, to do demonetization and digitization, many accountancy jobs have just vanished because SAP has taken over, Tally has taken over, ERPs are taken over. Okay, demonetization has actually taken over the entire situation where the digital payments are happening. Now, with all these things completely, today, all the skills which the accountants have taken have got redundant completely. Lower level accountancies will remain. Not only there are many skills which are actually taking away by automation. For example, low level computing taken away by automation. Even a call center jobs today is a bot which is actually talking about it. Okay, we don't have a kind of a call center which are bots which are answering your redundancy is dangerous. So we need to help people plan because anybody and everybody is going to start their career in a child's life. If we get a child of around 15 years, he or she is going to start his career only after 7 years after education. So we need to help them prepare, see that what is going to be there in the 7 years. But to do that, we have a lot of research, we have a lot of tools, we have a lot of systems. We do a lot of work in terms of what is the predictability in the future, which are the careers going to grow, and which are going to die. That's what you're saying. Ultimately, if you don't plan your career, you have unhappy parents and anxious people around us with a stressed life and no money left with them. Okay. Now let's see a plan. Let's see when it comes to a planned life. Okay, we're talking about something which is very critical. When I say planned life, okay, we have a more focused and purposeful life. You know exactly what you're doing, why you're doing, where do you want to reach, how do you want to reach, and how you want to create something. Also, there's a lot of higher investment in education and a lot of strengths are built. Now, I don't want to take much time on this particular selling this particular thing, but I want to make a proposal. What we want to do is we want to actually make you our financial our partners in business. Okay, we will conduct a 1 day training program. Okay, you will of course get an access to a dashboard. You will of course get an identity as a Dheya business partner with visiting cards and a support from our side. Ultimately, we are also actually you become a kind of a mainstream in our this thing where you start referring people. In case you want to be into career planning, also you can get trained as a facilitator. So there's a different program altogether. But if you want to remain a financial advisor and allow the experts to do it, if you don't think that you can be an expert, that's also fine with us. So you can start referring those people to us. Okay, in terms of who this thing is, the revenue sharing is as a volume based between 20% to 40%. As you this thing is 20% to 40% in this entire business model of ours. Now, of course, those who are interested, what we'll be doing is there's a process which you're going to go ahead. We are looking for people who are open minded, okay, who are actually looking forward to doing something which is progressive, which is more futuristic, and also trying to work with closely with parents on a like a hand holding basis. That's what we're looking at. In addition to that, we are looking at people who are willing to look at a new age kind of career guidance and career planning. And that's what you do. We have the technology, we have the tool, we have the community, we have the people. So we can do all these things together. More importantly, It's more than just money, it's the cause, the impact you will make to the population around you. Okay, this impact is going to be lifelong. People can change their life direction based on the words you take. That's what it is. Okay, so these are the kind of things which I would like to suggest to the entire thing. The fees for the training is 15K. Okay, it's only one time, and then you get all your dashboard, your identity, your support, everything put together. We plan to conduct this training in the first week of June, that is at the end of first week of June, which is on 10th or 11th, and that will be started firstly in Mumbai and then in Pune. Okay, to be with, and that's what we are planning to do that. Okay, the next steps in this. The first step in this is everybody who is interested will undergo a psychometric assessment, and this psychometric assessment by which we will help you understand your strengths. So there'll be a short conversation with you with our facilitator who will explain what your strengths are. Okay, that's the first. That's the thing. Post that, okay, you'll be invited for the training, and the training which happens, okay, it'll be a one-day training, okay, which will be of course in a way the thing, but then for the training, of course, you have to pay in advance. Okay, so that's one thing. And then at the end of this entire situation, you get the dashboard and you start the business immediately. Okay, you will have a dedicated support team to support you in this entire system. Okay, what I would do now is I will leave you with a small kind of, I would say, uh, this thing where I'm going to actually say that okay, we'll open this entire community for question answers so that we can discuss on this entire thing. So let's begin from here. We'll give voice one by one to everybody. You guys have to just raise your hand so that you can start.
Yeah, Mr. Vijay Bhaskar, to answer your question, the training is important for you to get inducted inside so that the business that you get in, is recorded and there is a structure and system to it so that your payouts can happen and the business can start rolling. Okay. Uh, but yes, we have the option of you giving us referrals straight away also. But I think the one day training program will be critical here because that is the way that you will get into the system. And for us, everything happens through a technology based system. We have our own dashboard, we have our own CRM, and we have a system through which you get enrolled as a product advisor, and the students come in. So there is a kind of a accounting system that is in place, so that it's very transparent and clear to everyone. Himanshu, I have not understood your question. That financial advisor will be getting lead support for financial planning of specific. Yes, it's a two-way process. So definitely, the parents who come to us, we would be, of course, if you are a product advisor, you will be advising on our products, and any of the clients who come to us, you automatically get connected to the clientele there. So you will also get your own clientele, and it's going to be a huge USP for you as a financial planner because you have a unique proposition to give to each parent now. So most of the parents would like to go to you when you add career planning to your kitty of what you're offering them. Yeah, so Vijay Agarwal, your question was, hold on. The investment is 15,000 rupees for the training and induction program. 15,000 for a one-day training program, along with the entire facility and the getting into the community, supporting you. You have access to our to the dashboard. You'll be using your dashboard, and the entire support will be given to you. Yeah, so if you go to our website, I'm going to type in the website out here. It's www.dheya.com, and you will see on a retail business that we do, it's varying from 6,000 rupees to 20,000 rupees. So level 1 is 6,000, level 2 is 10,000, and level 3 is 20,000. So that's the rates that we charge for career planning for my children. And early career is 15,000 rupees, and mid career is 30,000 rupees. So we deal with students and professionals right from 13 years to 55 years. And this is the cost. So I'm repeating it again: 6,000, 10,000, 20,000, 15,000, and 30,000. So these are the models, and the revenue sharing model is varying between 20% to 40%. The entire model will be shared with you during the training program, It will depend on the bulk of the business that is coming in on a monthly basis or on a quarterly basis, as the case would be. The details of the program will be shared with each one of you. We'll be sending you the brochure and the complete details of the training program. We'll be having the training program in the end of first week of June at Mumbai. It will be on a Sunday, mostly on the 10th of June. And this will be the first training program that we will hold in Mumbai. And we'll follow it up with the training program in Pune and then in other places also. We want to do this program across the country and build up a complete community of financial advisors who can impact the entire nation. The age for children for this program is 13 years and above. Any child who is above the age of 13 is eligible to enter into this career guidance and career planning. We believe that 13 years is the right age to intervene because that's the point where their personality gets formed, because they are transiting from a childhood into adulthood by teenage hits them. So that's how this whole program has been designed. I'm open for any other questions. If you have any questions, you can please go ahead and type it on the chat box. We'll be happy to answer that. No, this is not a counseling program. As you understood what Anand was just saying, we are into career guidance and career planning. It's more of a life transformation program where we work with parents, we work with students, and these people get connected to us as a community. So we have a complete community of more than 1,500 mentors today who are all senior professionals in industry. They work part-time with us as the mentors who undertake one-on-one personalized sessions with students and parents, and they help them to plan their lives. Okay, so we have a lot of research, a lot of tools, a lot of processes with which we work with them and help them walk the path. We are there for them every step of their path. So we are a complete community of mentors who work the similar way of what you do in your financial planning. When you plan a life goal for your client, you are there with the client, right? You are holding their hand and walking the path with them and ensuring that their money and investment is taken care of. Similarly, we also walk the path with our students and children. So it's a complete win-win situation where we are similar kind of communities. We work on the career side, you work on the financial planning side. Both of us are looking at life goals. I said 13 years plus till the age of 55. We are dealing with the young children, we are dealing with college students, we are also dealing with young professionals and senior professionals. Everyone is there in our career guidance and career planning. So you have an option, we are running this mentor training programs also. So those of you who would like to become mentors with us can also join our mentor training programs. The investment is a bit more for it because the mentor training program is more exhaustive. So we charge 30,000 rupees for it. It's a 30,000 K program. Today we are doing these programs in Bombay, Bangalore, Delhi, Ahmedabad, Hyderabad, and other cities also. And we already have about 1,500 senior professionals who have joined us. So those of you who want to become mentors can become mentors. Those of you who want to take it up as a product advisory business can take it up as the business. Any other questions that you would like to be answered? There's one more. Yeah, Devraj, I'm giving you voice. Thanks, Mr. Vijay. If it's taking too much time, Devraj, I would request you if you can chat it or put the chat box, put the question in the chat box. I can answer the question straight away. Mr. Subhash, we were talking about our career guidance and planning program of Dheya Career Mentors. I have just, if you scroll up, you will see the website details there, so you can see what we do. So we are the way you are doing financial planning for the people. We are doing career planning for the people. It's not counseling, it's planning where we plan the lives of children and we work with children and parents and youngsters and parents, and we plan their lives, using psychometrics, using tools, using processes which are completely positivity driven, and we guide them towards a very bright future. So we are working in this field, and we believe that we need financial planners to join hands with us to become the product advisors who can join hands with us as a business model and get people to do their career planning, in which we give you the share of the revenue that we earn from the parents. That's as a simplistically put. That was what was covered in the last half an hour. Mr. Devraj, we are waiting for your question. In case you are taking time to get online, you could please type it on the chat box so that we could answer the question for you. Career planning fees are one-time charge. It's not annual. It's a one-time charge fees that is given to the student, and once it is paid, then it's they are with us. Of course, we keep running a lot of career development programs also. Those programs are like boot camps for which we charge them separately. So these same customers come to us for undertaking those development activities. We also do work with schools and colleges, and we have a joint venture programs in many schools where we run career education programs for them. Yes, we have a presentation ready, and we will be forwarding all the details to you, including the brochure of the this thing very soon. Early next week, you can expect on Monday. You can expect a presentation to come to you, and people will also be in touch with you. We'll be giving you a call, speaking to each one of you on one-on-one, and explaining this whole model to you. Mr. Devraj, I'll request you if you can, type on the chat box. I think it's the net is a bit, not on our side, so it's taking too much of. Can I request you to please type the question in the chat box? So, Mr. Subhash, just since you came in recently, the investment for people to join us as product advisors and a one-day product training along with complete support and access to our dashboard and working with us as business partners would be 15,000 rupees. That was one of the points I think you did not attend. It's a one-time investment, and after that, the business starts immediately after that. After the training program is completed, and you're enrolled as a product advisor with their career mentor. We will be giving you your visiting cards. We'll be giving you ID cards, and we'll be giving you. You'll become a part of our community. So we'll create a community of product advisors who will be, financial planners, and also along with that, you will have a USP of doing career planning, assigning a career plan for every client of yours. No, this is not a refundable fees. This is actually a training fees which will be charging for the training to be done, because the training would be done at a premises, and we will be giving you a lot of support technologically speaking. So it will be a lifelong support. So the one-time induction fee, and you will be joining a community. You'll be getting a dashboard access into Dheya. You'll be getting your identity as a product advisor, and you will be being part of the community from there on for life. For mentoring program of 30,000 rupees, there are certain criteria that need to be followed. That is, first thing is you're looking for the senior people who are beyond 38 years of age. Number one. Number two, they are parents themselves. Number three, they undergo a psychometric assessment, and we check for certain traits of process following, standard integrity, conscientiousness. So once we identify all these traits, we qualify the people to join the mentorship program, and then they become mentors with us. No, this is not in lines of DMIT. We do not do anything like we are doing a aptitude test or some kind of fingerprinting and tell them what they should become. We don't do that. DMIT, in fact, if you go and do a little bit of research on DMIT, you'll realize that it's already been questioned for its reliability, because nobody can do a fingerprint on me and tell me that I can do this or I cannot do that. I think we have to understand that human beings are much, much more capable and they can do whatever they want to do. But yes, it's more important for us to know our strengths and use our strengths and guide ourselves what we want to do in life. That's what we do. We are facilitators, we are handholders, we are lifelong handholders, and we are a community of parents who understand parents' mindset very well. So that's how this whole process works. So it's not that psychometric test is everything. Psychometric test is just a tool. Of course, it's a very strong tool, but what's more important is what follows that tool. What's the application of it? How we are going to give a solution to parents and students? How we work with them? What kind of positivity we generate into them while the session is on? The way we talk to them, the way we ignite them, the way we inspire them. That's more important. The tool is just the base. The real work starts after that. Mr. Subhash, if you look at our profile, my profile, I'm a mechanical engineer, postgraduate mechanical engineer, was served in the Indian Navy for about 25 years, came out and now pursuing my passion to work with youngsters and build great lives out of them, and transform this country into a very powerful country. That's my profile. Anand Desai has got a very rich corporate profile of 16, 17 years into HR, into psychometrics, into assessment centers. He came out of the corporate life and started this organization about 12 years back, 13th year running now, and with a dream of again making India a very powerful country. And we are very passionate and committed about impacting youngsters and impacting families all across India. And that's why we are into this. If you talk about competitors, we don't have any competitors, because everybody in the field of career guidance and counseling are into psychometrics and are into telling them to join into educations like art, science, commerce, or engineering, law, or medical. We don't do that. We know we are calling ourselves as career guidance and planning. We are talking about transforming lives of individuals, working along with them. There's nobody in the country who is doing what we are doing, because we are the only organization which has a strong community of 1,500 senior professionals who have joined together for a committed cause. And each one of us is today committed to work with parents and students and help them walk the path. while we handhold them as they walk the path. This is something which is very unique with us. Okay, I think is there. Yeah, thank you, Mr. Devraj. Thank you so much for sparing your evening and listening to our listening. We hope a lot. We hope to get in touch with each one of you, and we really look forward to associating ourselves in a very productive manner, which will be both very satisfying for all of us, as well as earn a huge amount of revenue, so that we can create an impact in the world while we add value to it. So with that, I would like to close the session. Thank you so much for listening to us and sparing your valuable time. We really appreciate your your efforts that you have put in to be a part of this webinar. Thank you so much.